All right, so are you ready to dive into a story that, like, proves love, or at least the search for it? Knows no digital boundaries? We're taking a trip to the wild world of Steam forums, where someone is about to embark on a real-life adventure.
Oh, this sounds
You
interesting.
heard that right.
Yeah.
Forget the latest game releases for a second, because this thread we're unpacking is straight up asking, has anyone traveled to India before? Any advice?
Wow.
Our protagonist, rocking the interesting username, I love boobies.
Gotta appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, gotta appreciate the honesty, is on the verge of boarding a flight to India to meet someone they met online. And of course, they're looking for some last-minute wisdom from the internet void.
Of course, who wouldn't?
Yeah, who wouldn't?
So we're talking about like the underbelly of the internet forums here.
Yeah.
The breeding grounds for humor anxieties and like this weird mix of genuine advice and completely outlandish claims.
Absolutely. It's like a digital melting pot of humanity. Where else can you go from asking for travel tips to contemplating your own mortality, all in the span of like 6 comments?
Exactly.
And as you can imagine, the responses, they don't disappoint.
Oh, I bet.
It's like a digital buffet of advice ranging from the practical
Yeah.
to the utterly absurd.
I like
You got your classic travel tips like, don't drink the tap water.
Right.
Always solid advice.
Yeah.
And then you've got, well, let's just say things take a turn.
Oh, boy.
Some users clearly embracing the comedic potential of the situation, right? Hit him with gems like, it's so over for you, bud, or sounds like someone is gonna get kidnapped and sold.
Oh, my God.
You know, just your average lighthearted travel banter.
Sure.
But there's one comment in particular that really jumps out. Are you ready to become an organ donor?
Oh, wow.
It's almost like this thread becomes a mini documentary on the anxieties people project onto a country like India.
It's really fascinating how this thread becomes a microcosm for those anxieties. You have this online space, often anonymous, where these fears, often rooted in stereotypes and misinformation, can be amplified and exaggerated.
Totally. It's like everyone transforms into a seasoned travel expert warning of the imminent dangers, lurking around every corner.
What's interesting is the language used in these comments. The organ donor joke, while seemingly harmless to some, taps into this long history of portraying certain cultures as inherently dangerous, almost predatory.
Right.
It's a form of othering disguised as humor, which can perpetuate harmful stereotypes and anxieties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And amidst this online frenzy, our friend I Love Boobies, he remains surprisingly unfazed.
Right.
He's either got nerves of steel or a seriously dark sense of humor.
Wow.
To the kidnapping comment, he quips back, at least I won't have to be here anymore.
Oh, my God.
And when faced with the organ donor inquiry, his response is simply, yes, I am very much ready to die.
Wow. His nonchalant, almost deadpan responses. They add another layer to this whole dynamic. It's like he's subverting the expected narrative of fear and trepidation, turning it into an opportunity for dark humor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if he's consciously challenging those preconceived notions or simply reflecting a certain internet age detachment.
It's as that, like, I've already accepted my fate energy that you sometimes see in these online spaces. Okay, so are you ready for this? Because what happens next is the definition of plot twist.
Oh, boy.
Remember all those dire predictions?
Mm.
The online chorus of doom?
Yeah.
Well, our intrepid traveler, he goes ahead and throws everyone for a loop. He updates the thread a mere 22 hours after his initial plea for advice. And guess what?
What happened? Don't leave me hanging.
He's in India.
No way.
Completely safe and sound.
Get out.
And he met the girl.
Shut up.
And get this. She's not a figment of his imagination, not some elaborate catfish scheme. He even clarifies in his own words. She's definitely not a guy with 13 inches PP.
All right. Yeah.
But hey, at least he's thorough.
That's true. That's true.
More importantly, he shares that she's an awesome girl, and they're having an incredible time exploring India together.
Wow.
Talk about defying expectations.
This is incredible.
This unexpected twist. It really throws a wrench into the typical online narrative.
For sure. It does. It challenges those preconceived notions, and it reminds us that online interactions, they can blossom into real-world connections. This thread, with its blend of humor and anxieties, ultimately reminds us to approach online spaces, especially forums, with a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Yeah.
It's easy to get swept up in the echo chamber of fear or to jump to conclusions based on stereotypes. But, at the end of the day, the internet isn't always a reflection of reality. And sometimes those leaps of faith, even if they start in a Steam forum, they can lead to incredible experiences.
It's a good reminder that the internet is a strange and wonderful place, full of contradictions and surprises. So the next time you stumble upon a thread buzzing with wild claims or anxieties, remember I love Boobies and his Indian adventure. Take it all with a grain of salt, stay curious, and remember that sometimes the most fulfilling experiences come from venturing outside our comfort zones, both online and offline. You never know what you might discover.